And guys, the bleeding stops at 11. The Lakers get the job done, take game 4, avoid the sweep to force a game 5, which is on Monday. Denver still with that 3-1 series lead. But when it comes to this one alone, the theme continued. The Lakers led at half, up by 13. But could they weather that third quarter storm? How about this? Though Denver won the quarter 32-30, the Lakers, unlike the previous 3 third quarters, they put themselves in a much better position going into the fourth, up 11. LeBron James brilliant down the stretch, 30-point game, 14 in the fourth. You had Anthony Davis with his second 2020 game in a Laker uniform in the playoffs. And you live to play another day. Great contributions from Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell. You had signs of Taurean Prince off the bench. Good team win there. Big game.
Did what they had to do. You know, don't pull the plug yet, Brez. We're still alive. And that's all you could ask for was a smarter game and a game that was contributed by more than AD and LeBron. I thought having that lead at halftime was good, and then third quarter was a lot better. And Reaves exerted himself. I thought D'Lo, later on when we needed him, hit some big shots. As you mentioned early, 13-5, our bench outperformed theirs. And we got a lot of points in the paint tonight. So, you know, they did what they had to do. You know, when you're up 3-0, there's a certain kind of internal psyche too. It's kind of like when you're down, you know, 0-3. There's something that happens. I think Denver, they were trying to win, but the Lakers played a smart game, hit some big shots, and so still alive, Brad.
James, the narrative is finally over. You know, the Lakers have no longer lost a ton of games in a row to Denver. It is over at 11. And I think that's just a nice mental step for the Lakers going forward. You know, they're playing again on Monday. They'll be in Denver. That will not be easy. But you see a little resurgence from D'Angelo Russell, too. I love what he did today. 21 points from him. Austin Reaves, 21 as well. Strong down the stretch, too. I felt like Austin was under the radar a lot this series. And it was good to see him make a bunch of important free throws tonight. And also, Allie, have a nice shot or two in the fourth quarter. And finally, the Laker defense really made Jamal Murray work tonight, James. 9 for 23 for Jamal Murray. Lakers will take that all day, every day. And they figured out the Aaron Gordon problem very quickly. He had 29 the other night, only 7 tonight. Laker defense, good as well, Allie.
We talk often just about how it comes down to doing all of the little things. There's been a couple of stats that have kind of been on my mind throughout this, one in which the Lakers have won 8 of the 16 quarters played so far. You heard him say on the broadcast that for over 130 minutes they've led in this series, yet they were down 0-3 coming into today. Having said all that, I've been following the rebound battle to which the Lakers finally got on top, 46-40. They made it even in terms of the offensive rebounds. 8 for the Lakers, just 9 today for Denver. And then the turnover battle, they won that as well. Obviously, there were still some careless moments there for the Lakers, but they were able to force some turnovers on Denver and kind of win those little battles when it comes to a playoff series best of 7 big game, and those are huge.
Allie, you could coach this next game with all that stats that you just put up, because that's exactly what I would put up on the board to give them a little bit of insight of where they've been and what they've gained, the positive stuff when they lost. You pull all that out, we're winning the rebounds, we're not turning the ball over, we finally did this, we've outplayed them a number of quarters. That right there gives you a lot of, like, incentive if you could just patch up the leaks and the turnovers and execution. So those are the type of things that motivate you. And I think it'd be wise if Ham would, you know, internalize that and give them something to look at and say, hey, guys, this is where we've been. And, you know, this is what we've done to ourselves. Let's not do it to ourselves anymore.
LeBron said after Game 3, we're going to keep playing till the wheels fell off. I feel like they might have added a wheel back to the car.
I got the spare back?
Yeah, they got the spare back. So there's some momentum, no doubt about it. And I'm just really impressed by really the effort. This team could have said, all right, we're home. We don't have to go back to Denver. And not consciously, but maybe subconsciously, that was not the case at all. I mean, I thought they were really strong tonight, Allie, start to finish. And that third quarter, finally, that third quarter was not an issue at all. I mean, I think everyone was kind of like, okay, they won the first half. What's going to happen in the third and then in the fourth? Denver was so dominant in the first 3 second halves of the series. Today, they were ordinary. And it makes you think one other thing. What if the Lakers had won that game too? What if Jamal Murray had not made that shot and the Lakers win in overtime? Denver would be a little nervous. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying they're nervous now, up 3-1, going back to Denver, but, you know, a lot of ifs. But, James, Lakers have really played well in this
They're going
series.
to play well, and I hope everybody is healthy on both teams. But we noticed that Murray was a little bit banged up. He only has 1 day, right, to rest. So I hope he's ready. But those are the type of things that happen if you extend, you know, the series a little bit. I hope he's fine, but he looked a little, you know, a little slow there at the end. That might be something you want to look at. Try to take advantage of him if it is a problem. But we'll see in the next one.
Touching that upper calf area on his leg, and that can be tricky.
Besides keeping it close in the third, Big Game, you mentioned the dominance in the paint after 3. They were up 54-34, plus 20. They finished plus 20, 72-52. And a big reason for that, Anthony Davis. He was big, as I mentioned. His second 2020 game in a Laker playoff game with 25 and 23.
He's averaging 42 minutes in this series. Played another 42 tonight. And it seems like, you know, we were talking about this in the conference room where we watch the games. Denver never seems tired. Their starting 5 never seems to be exhausted. They're always as strong in the fourth quarter as they were in the first. How about AD? How about that type of stamina, putting up these amazing numbers and playing 40-plus minutes easily on average in every one of these games? It's got to keep it going. You know, you got to keep, if you're AD, you got to keep leveling up a little bit every single game, because you know Joker's going to be there on Monday saying, what did I do wrong in Game 4? How can we win this game? It's going to be another battle, no doubt about it.
He may have played 42 minutes, but he's not done yet. Let's go back downtown. AD is with Mike Trudell.
All right, Anthony Davis. It's always a challenge. A team's going into a situation like this, down 3-0. But what did you have to do to reverse the tide and come out with a victory?
Play with a sense of desperation. You know, we didn't want to get swept. We had a couple chances in previous games to win basketball games, but we let the lead slip away, especially in the second half. So we just wanted to come out in the third quarter and set a tone on both ends of the floor, and we were able to do that with a 30-point quarter in the third. Our problem is we haven't been able to score in the second half, and we scored every quarter. So it's a difference in the ball game.
Your offense has been super reliable and efficient individually, shooting over 60% in this series. What have you been seeing with what Denver's doing defensively to attack it?
We're trying to be aggressive, do the little things, offensive rebound, defensive rebound, score when I have to, make the right reads on offense. So, you know, it's a good team. Good team defensively, good team offensively. Just trying to pick my spots and be dominant.
23 rebounds for you tonight, AD. They had been winning the glass battle basically every matchup. What did you have to do to flip that?
One-shot rebounds, go get them. If I got to knock my team out the way, I got to go get it. So, you know, they've been cutting us on the glass, and it's been hurting us for second chance opportunities. So, you know, I want to make sure I go get every rebound.
Last one for you. Of course, you lose both games, 1 and Game 2 in Denver, but you did play well for large portions of that game. Are you just in the one game at a time mindset?
That's it, one game at a time. Focus on Game 5, and we'll worry about the rest later. See what we can get better at from tonight, see what we can keep doing to keep scoring. And now just one game at a time. It's not a 3-game series. It's a 1-game series, one game at a time, and we figure out how we get Game 5.
Thank you, Anthony.
Let's talk a little Austin Reaves, guys. 4 of the starting 5 of the Lakers with 20 or more, including Austin. Back-to-back 20-point games for Austin here in L.A., combined for just 22 in Games 1 and 2 in Denver. Big Game, what did you see from him tonight, and how does he carry that on the road to Denver for Game 5?
Yeah, one thing I know about Austin, man, he's not a quitter. You know, he may have some games that he's not happy with, or he might have some defensive assignments that take away from his offense sometimes, but he's not going to quit. They need his offense. He can provide it if the ball is in his hands enough, but, you know, he's still going to have the big challenge defensively, but he put pressure, I think, on Murray and the opponents for Denver by being assertive, going downhill, getting into the paint, making something happen, as opposed to, you know, being too careful or turning it over.
Isn't that the best way to beat this team, is to go at them on offense?
Yep.
You know, you're not going to outscore them 135 to 130 every night, but you got to make them work on defense. And good job for Austin Reaves to say, okay, LeBron, he's going to get his 25 to 30. AD is going to get 30-plus pretty much in every game this series. So who's going to be that third star tonight? And good job also by D'Lo, because he also had 21 points. So both those guys realizing, and they're good friends. Maybe they even talked about it. Maybe they got a round of golfing yesterday to try to take their mind off of basketball. And both those guys really did step up in a very important an appropriate way, hitting threes, going to the basket. And like you said, James, just trying to make Murray and KCP work a little harder. I got news for Laker fans. Denver is not playing great right now on offense. They're not hitting threes. They were getting a lot of cheap extra possessions with all the offensive rebounds in the first 3 games. And the Lakers really cut that down today, too. The key question, can they carry that over 48 hours from now in Denver?
It's hard to do. Not carry it over. They should be able to carry it over. But Denver is difficult. Now, they only play really about 6 players. So the Lakers got to try to be a little bit smarter in looking for fouls early in the game, because Denver's bench only scored 5 points.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't think they score a lot of points in general from their bench. So they got to be trying to think about, how can they maybe get a couple of fouls early so to get either Murray or Jokic out of the game early. Don't focus on it, don't stress on it too much, but those are the type of wise things you got to be looking at while you're not turning the ball over. Attack like they did early in this game. You just might, get them in foul trouble.
And Lakers have so much work to do. But, Allie, no Bruce Brown on this Denver team. And they had that weird loss, second to last game of the regular season. They could have tied up the #1 spot in the West, lost in San Antonio. One of the worst teams in all of basketball. And so there's some cracks in the armor. Again, hey, Denver's up 3-1. So, Nuggets fans have to be pretty excited about going back home for Game 5. But there's just enough little things for the Lakers to poke away at, and maybe they can really cause Denver to be a little nervous if everyone's come back here for Game 6.
The Lakers owe themselves a win in Denver. After the 2 that they gave up, they owe themselves. So get it back home.
Darvin, you've been talking about sustaining pace, for a full game and, finding a way to hold off the charges that came out. How did that flip tonight in that third quarter and then again in the fourth when they tried to come back?
I mean, for one, we knew they were going to make a couple of runs, prideful championship team. The biggest thing for us, just making it as difficult as possible. They hit some tough shots. We had some unfortunate fouls, some unfortunate turnovers. But we kept the scoreboard moving as well, which you have to do. Again, continuous. You're not going to shut anybody down completely for the entire game. So you just have to be prepared for that onslaught and make sure you're doing what you need to do and meeting force with force. Force them into tough situations. If it doesn't work out, move on to the next play and go try to, go back at them.
It's the first time that you've out-rebounded them in, I think, 6 games, and AD has 23 of them. What did you see from him, and how did that play into the glass overall?
Totally just dominant. Just the way he's been on the glass, changing shots, got a hell of a matchup with Joker. Just his focus, being that defensive catalyst, communicating. Our perimeter guys, all our guys stepped up and played well in terms of trying to control their matchup. Times where we had to switch, just be active on the backside. Got a lot of good stuff to look at film, and just got to be even better, even more perfect.
Coach, with everything that happened in the game tonight, did you kind of wonder to yourself, why haven't we played like this before?
I mean, again, like I said pregame, we've had great stretches against this team. We've played for good segments. We just never quite put together a complete game. Whether it's a whole quarter or a stretch of 7 to 8 minutes that we just kind of dropped the ball. But tonight, we just stay in the end. Our competitiveness never wavered. Our togetherness never wavered. And as I just told them, the selflessness. We found a group that made a nice little run, and it was time for certain guys to come in the game, and those guys who were coming in the game said, no, let them rock out. So that togetherness right there, that growth, and everything we discussed yesterday about being one, and, beautiful day to be alive in order to stay alive. That was the message yesterday and the message today. Just win one game, and we got to refocus, recalibrate, and have that same mindset going up to Denver.
Darvin, D'Angelo is obviously a very confident player, and after Game 1 came out.
I'm very confident in him.
And came out firing in Game 2. He was a little more let the game come to him in terms of flow in this game. Did you like the way he kind of approached this game?
I loved it. I told him to go crazy. Be confident. You've been doing this your whole life. Go crazy and be aggressive. So he looked at me, and his little nickname for me is Big Dog. So I got you, Big Dog. Got you. Shook my hand, gave me a hug, and did what he did tonight. I'm so proud of that kid. You know, it's just everything that we've been through as a team, on the court, off the court, just injuries, everything. Like, we deserve this tonight, and we just got to bottle it up and really keep it pushing and really understand that, you know, it could be our time. Why not us? So just push through to the next game. Keep that focus. Don't look too far down the road. Don't worry about what just happened behind us. Just every new game is a new opportunity for us to be more competitive, more together, more selfless.
Dar, following up on D'Lo, it felt like his diversity in his shot selection tonight was great, and it's something that you said you wanted to see him do, play downhill, put the ball on the floor. How much did that help the offense in general?
Big time. I mean, it just, whenever he's decisive and aggressive, even his no-looks, the Bron and his pocket passing, the way he finds people, when he's in his mode, and again, being deliberate, being aggressive, you know, he's elite. He's elite. He's an elite offensive player, and so we needed every bit of it tonight.
To kind of follow up a little bit, you guys have, there was a stat that ESPN posted. I mean, you guys have led more than 100 minutes in this series, and you know you've outscored them in the first quarter. I think the playoff best plus 27 now, but had nothing to show for it in terms of results. Despite the history of 03, do those stretches give you confidence, bigger picture in this group as it moves forward into this series?
Absolutely. I think again, it's a possession by possession game. You gotta have multiple efforts. You gotta stay aggressive offensively, and on both sides of the ball, you gotta have a next play mentality. You gotta move on to the next play. Good, bad, indifferent. Move on to the next play, and you gotta force the action, force the whistle. You can't go in there expecting for the whistle to save you. You go to make plays. If you get the whistle, great. If not, that's okay too. We just have to be focused on making plays.
Darvin, kind of a two-part question. A, in the third quarter struggles compared to tonight, when they cut it to 7, you guys pushed it back up to 15, 16. A, what did you like there? And B, before the game, you talked about living in the moment, not letting the situation get the better of you playing. So with that, what's the message moving forward as well?
Not becoming stagnant. Just continuing with our pace, continuing getting stops. We got a bunch of dominant stops, and then we got some timely stops. They hit some tough shots, got some N1s. We didn't hang our head. We made sure we was organized going the other way, knowing what we wanted to get into and what group of players offensively we want to end the action. That was at a high level. The communication from Bron, AD, Lowe, everybody, the coaches, everybody just, again, was what we talked about yesterday in our film session, just being together, having that dialogue, guys understanding the moment, just being in the moment and leaning in with joy and not stressing the fear that a situation like this, win or go home, brings a lot of anxiousness, nervousness. We just wanted to lean into the joy of competition.
Darvin, to your left, Darvin. All the way over here. You mentioned in your last answer not being stagnant. Even when Denver starts to make their pushes here and there, you guys seem like still running through your offense efficiently, getting through your sets quickly. How important is that, especially against a team like this, where to be that organized, especially against a team that always seems like they're organized?
Again, you know, it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process. I just want us to be all on the same page. You know, I may call a set, Phil. You know, he navigates our offense and try to see how we can extract as much as we can. He and JD and Bron, D'Lo, those guys may call different sets out. And all we're doing is trying to get the best out of each offensive possession. Same thing with CJ and the crew, J.O. on the defensive side. So it takes a collective, collaborative effort to be pristine and to continue to stack great possessions on either side of the ball, and that's what it was tonight. That's what it was tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Hey, Darvin, after so many losses to this team, if there was a mental block that you guys had, if it was broken tonight, can that be sort of cathartic and carry, at least emotionally, onto Denver in Game 5?
Yeah, I choose passion over emotion intelligence over ego. We can't rest on our laurels. It's a beautiful thing for us to finally get a win against this team. You know, these been some hotly contested games, hard fought, and we, you know, break it down to the win-loss column. Obviously, we've been on the short end of the stick. But now that we, quote-unquote, cracked the code, we got to know this is a championship ball club. Like, you crack the safe, they still going to protect the contents within that safe like crazy with their lives. And they don't want you to get what's in that safe out, and they don't want you to get the safe out of their house. And we're about to go to their house. So we got to be focused. We got to have our nutrition, our recovery, our antennas up, a focus on the game plan to take it up even more notches so that we're efficient and we know what we're doing. We're all on the same page, competing our asses off.
Darvin, you guys obviously got off to a rough start at the beginning of last season.
They kicked all you guys out your seats, man. What the hell happened? See Kobe over here by the garage, Dave over there behind the curtain. What the hell, man? No love for the homeboys?
No respect. No respect.
Damn.
But you guys were having to climb out of that and kind of stay in the moment to accomplish your goal. And then kind of again this year, you have that rough stretch and you're 13th in the West and you got to kind of live day by day to get where you want to get and make the play-in tournament, make the first round of the playoffs. Any of that existence, can that help the situation you're in now where it's like you got game 5? I mean, some people would look at this series and say, I mean, I wish it was 2-2 or whatever, but you got game 5. And how has your group been trained to just live with that versus looking elsewhere?
I just think all of the adversity we've been through, like not having key bodies at the beginning of the season, you go all the way back to last year. I mentioned it before the game. Just 2-10 to having to make a key move at the deadline, key moves, trying to put all that together on the fly, and then identifying a core and making sure we get those guys back, and you know, extending just everything that went into trying to formulate this team, the most continuity that we can possibly have. Coming out, a couple of guys hurt, key guys hurt. Then, you know, we get guys back, someone else goes down, trying to manage, you know, not run Bron and AD into the ground all the while that's happening. The in-season tournament, we played 2 extra games this season, you know, the in-season championship as well as the play-in game. So all of that ship as well as the play-in game. So all of that said, our guys never stopped chipping away at the rock. And we would have our dips here and there, but for the most part, we stayed strong, we stayed focused, and we've always been able to collect ourselves in the film room, in the theater, watch what we need to watch, have dialogue, and come out ready the next day out to put our best foot forward. Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Coach, you talked specifically about the paint defense, the transition defense. Where did you have breakdowns on that side of the basketball tonight?
Transition was all right. They only had 8 fast break, but yeah, the paint was a joke. I mean, every huddle, I think you're at most of our huddles. It sounded like a broken record tonight. Every huddle was paint, paint, paint. And game 3, they had 70. We found a way to win. And tonight they had 72. They had 42 at halftime. That's an incredible number. And when you break it down, they shot 64% in our paint, and they shot, I think, 33 in non-paint shots. And it starts in transition, blow-bys, just one-on-one containment, no help. And I just didn't think we had the requisite physicality or urgency. You know, this did not seem like a closeout game. And give them credit. You know, their backs were against the wall, and they came out and handled their business. And so now everybody can stop talking about the 11-0, and we have a chance to go home in front of the best fans in the world and try to close the series out.
Michael, you guys closed within, I think, 7 in the third quarter. It felt like you guys had opportunities to make it even closer, but they were getting offensive rebounds and kicking out for 3 a couple of times. How important was the disparity in second chance points in the glass overall?
Well, yeah, this is the first game that we've been out rebounded. You know what I mean? So for them to out-rebound us 46-40, but more importantly, 8 offensive rebounds for 14 points. And when you never hold a lead for the entire game and you're fighting to get back in the game and cut into it, when you finally force a miss, you can't give Anthony Davis or Torian Prince, or whoever the hell is crashing the glass and outworking us. It's just it doesn't work like that. So, yes, I thought that was definitely part of the problem as well, our inability to rebound like the way we have done in the first 3 games.
We're on the right.
Coach, you've reiterated all series. We need to get out to good starts. We need to get out to good starts, and it's something that's kind of eluded you guys for these 4 games. How much of an issue is it, and how can you guys kind of fix that?
Well, I think the bigger issue for tonight is that we just weren't ready to play, and not just because of the scoreboard, but the ease in which they scored. I mean, the very first basket they scored was a walk-in layup. That set the tone for the whole night. And it was LeBron James getting downhill to his left hand to finish. And, that was kind of unfortunately, an ominous sign for what was to come, because they scored 70 more points after that. So that's what I'm more concerned about, is that as the series is going on, we're getting away from understanding that this is transition, this is paint. It's not play calls, and tonight, obviously, we didn't have that. But your point is well taken, because that's 4 games in a row where we have lost the first quarter, and we've been down at halftime. And now you hope that to close the team out, you can't play a half of basketball. If we're going to try to win this in 5 games in front of our crowd, it's going to take us coming out ready to play and sustaining that for 48 minutes, because that team's not going anywhere.
Left.
You talked about transition defense, defense in the paint, not being ready to play. A reminder of what a grind the playoffs are and how much focus it requires to either close out a series or just win a single game.
Yeah, I mean, you want to win every game, right? It would have been great to close out 4-0, sweep the Lakers again. That rarely happens, and especially when you have 2 All-Stars, 2 All-NBA players over there. So obviously the first message is we got Game 3. We have a chance to go home and close it out in our building. So we got one on the road, which is really important to close out any series. And yes, there's no panic. We have a chance to go out and close it. But the challenge within that, as you know, is we can't continue to play like this. I mean, they're not rolling over. They're not going to give us the first round victory. We're going to have to earn it. We're going to have to take it. And tonight we didn't come close to earning it or taking it. And that's why we got beat. That's a talented team over there. And they play with more desperation. They play with more urgency and more physicality.
Coach, you were talking a little bit about not being ready to play, or even just the ominous signs. Did anything play into the shoes not being here on time? There was the bus with the shoes was delayed and people are in their slides. And
if you want to dig into stuff and say, well, we lost because for some strange reason all of our players didn't have their shoes when they got here for the normal warm-ups. We had guys out there shooting around with flip-flops. Is that ideal? No. But I'm not an excuse guy, and I'm not going to point to the reason we got our butts kicked in the paint because shoes weren't here. I think that's a reach, personally. Is it ideal? No. And hopefully we can figure out and make sure that never happens again. But that's no excuses, no explanations. We didn't get the job done. And the good thing about this is we have a chance to go home and try to get back to playing our brand of basketball, and an opportunity to close it out in front of our fans.
That's 2 right up there on the TV.
Coach, you said you sound like a broken record, transition points in the paint, all those things. How frustrating is it to having to keep saying that over and over again in these timeouts, maybe back-to-back games or in every game so far?
I mean, that's what coaching is. I mean, it's my job, and when you're playing well, or if you're not playing well, I think making sure your players understand the why. Why are we losing this game? Why are we not playing our brand of basketball? And obviously you would hope at some point guys are hearing the message and they're able to go out there and do something about it. And tonight, that just wasn't the case. And, our guys are a pretty honest group. I think they know tonight was not our best game. And it's really easy to stay together after a win. Everybody's, feeling good. The music is playing. Everybody's high-fiving. It's a challenge to stay together after a disappointing loss. But we're a connected group, and we'll go home, we'll watch the film, and we'll be ready come whenever the Game 5 is.
Last one on the left there.
Coach, were you surprised that you guys did not come as ready to play as you hoped you would? I mean, because clearly it's a disappointing performance, but were you surprised that they had more energy than you did?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, like you go back to last season, I think going into tonight's game, I think we were 11-1 in our last 12 playoff games. And last season, in closeout games, aside from the Minnesota series, we went 3-1. And our guys attacked those opportunities. And I just didn't feel, and again, watching the film will help, I just didn't feel we had that same tenacity, that same desperation or urgency, whatever you want to call it. I just didn't think we had it, for long enough stretches. We cut it to 7, like Vinny mentioned earlier, but it was like too few and far between, and that can't be the case. Like, we have to leave it all out there. If you play 42 minutes, you play 10 minutes. Go out there and leave it all out there, and when you do that, good things usually happen. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Austin, after Game 3, you had highlighted the third quarter, not just in that one, but the first two as a difference. Tonight, Denver wins it, but barely by 2, and then you match them even in the fourth quarter. What was the difference tonight as to how you guys were able to sustain that level of play?
I think we just, it's been a point of emphasis, obviously, for a reason. And going into that third quarter, it was, win the third quarter. Obviously, we didn't do that, but them beating us by 2 in the third, we're still up by 11 or 12 or whatever it was. So overall, a good third quarter.
Austin, what did you like about the opportunities afforded to yourself, to D'Lo, Rui, tonight, playing off of kind of the stars? And do you feel like you guys found a better rhythm offensively as a group around those players?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we scored 119, and before, I don't know if we, broke 105 or whatever it was. So obviously, offense was clicking better than it has been in the, last 3 games. And, I think everybody in the starting lineup besides me, shot 50% or better from the floor. So that's always a recipe for success. And then obviously always playing off Bron and AD. They relieve so much pressure because, coaches and teams are always so worried about them. Then, we could really be ourselves.
Austin, you've told us many times that you kind of dream about being in competitive series like this growing up. And last year, Game 4, you're up 15 at halftime. You don't get a chance to extend the series. Just how do you look at the opportunity that you guys earned tonight by winning the game and hopping on a plane to go to Denver?
We get, another opportunity to, go play one more game. And if we win, we'll come back and play another one and, keep moving from there. Obviously, wish we won 4-0. The odds aren't, stacked in our favor. But anytime we can, keep ourselves, floating above water, we have an opportunity to go do something special. And, we're ready for the challenge.
Austin over here. From a psychological kind of perspective, like what does this do for you guys? Because 11 straight wins, they had won a bunch of games in crunch time. It almost felt like they were kind of unbeatable in this matchup. So to kind of finally make them bleed, so to speak, like what can that do for you guys just from a mental side?
Obviously you see that we can win those games, close games, late. When they make runs, I think that's when. In the past, they've really taken advantage of their little 7-0, 8-0 runs that would turn into 12-2 or whatever. Tonight, we kept them from kind of getting that and more. So it's just builds confidence in what we're trying to do and hopefully continue to do.
Your guys' defensive rebounding or the Nuggets' offensive rebounding has been a talking point, or was a talking point after the first 3 games. how significant was that battle, one, but also for AD to grab over half of your defensive rebounds and just over half of your rebounds total? Just how important was that battle with him on the inside?
Yeah, I mean, AD does so much for our team, offensively, defensively, obviously rebounding the ball. For him to go get 23 in a game like this, it means a lot. And you could tell with his mentality going into the game, it was, that's obviously been a point of emphasis and something that we have to clean up. And you could tell with, his mentality, he was just like, I'll do it. So tip your hat to a guy like that. We got to continue to help him. But, hopefully he can go get them all.
Austin, Darvin was telling us that he told collectively the team to lean into this opportunity, to lean into the emotion, and so you guys could play freely. Is that something that happened, and how was it different in Game 4 this year compared to a year ago in the conference final?
The difference is we want and have an opportunity to go back to Denver to try to continue to play. And last year, obviously, we got beat, and I thought we played a good game last year in Game 4. Obviously, I think late in the game they got us again as they have in the past. But like you said, it was really go in tonight and play and have fun and compete at the highest level. And when we do that, and we're paying attention to all the little details, then we're a really good ball club.
Austin, what did you see from D'Lo tonight in terms of being able to bounce back from Game 3 and have the impact he did in Game 4?
Yeah, it was amazing. Shot the ball well from 3. He was 4 for 8. He had his little, one of his signature runs where he gets 2 to 3 quick buckets that, feel like, 12-0 runs itself. Just the style of, basketball that he plays. We need him to be at, his highest level for us to be successful. And tonight, that's what he did. And, you tip your hat off to a guy like that because, the world's killing him after Game 3 for the performance that he has. And, it's probably a lot easier than y'all think to, really just go fold and, let all that distract you. But he didn't. And you got to tip your hat to a guy like that. And, it just shows how much we need him.
Hi, Austin. Also, a follow-up to that question. When you saw, D'Lo, you both have 21 points. Is it also that it takes a weight for yourself away than when you see your teammate is scoring? And can you share some thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime, any of the guys on our team are playing well, making shots, everybody's extremely happy for them. And, you feed off that. Energy's real. And when you got that, positive, good energy and things are going your way, it seems like, things continue to, fall your direction. So definitely, seeing him be himself and making shots, just encourages everybody else to, do the same and, stick to really who you are.
Austin, congrats on the win. Yesterday in film study, how much was there an emphasis, if any at all, on making an adjustment on Aaron Gordon, who last game led the team and today was held to only 7?
It's tough with him because he's such a good cutter and plays so well off Jokic that, you prep so much on how to, kind of not let Jokic be effective and score in the post. And, like I said, what he does really well is cut off that on the backside, being in the dunker. And it also puts him in, good position to get offensive rebounds. And that's really where he was hurting us in the last game. But, the point of emphasis was, you always got to keep your eye on him, like I said, because he's such a good cutter. And, we did a good job of that tonight and also keeping him off the glass tonight. Thank you.
LeBron, you had talked after last game about sustaining effort and energy throughout the whole game. I think you ended up with 18 attempts in the paint. A bunch of them came in the second half, some key in that start of that fourth quarter. Was that any direct effort from you, aside from just reading the defense like you typically would?
I mean, obviously, like we've just been talking, like we have to sustain our effort, we have to sustain our energy, and I thought the third quarter was very important. We've had a lead in a lot of these games, and then the second half, they've jumped on us, and even though, they outscored us by 2, we score with them, to keep the lead at 11. We was up 13 and a half. They scored us by 2 in the third, but we was able to put up 30. So that, that definitely helped us going into the fourth. And then the fourth for me is just my mindset to try to close it out. Make plays, make winning plays, and I was able to make a few.
LeBron, because you are such a student of the game, what did you and your teammates learn from tonight that will help you in the next contest?
Well, they're going to make adjustments. They're a great team. They're great, super well coached still. We have to be able to counter their attack, but also come in with the same mindset that we have to sustain our effort. We have to sustain our energy. However we're able to do that, keep attacking, and try to keep them, and things that we can control, like fast break points. We only gave up 12 tonight to them. We only gave up 5-second chance points, and also at the same time, we only gave up 9 offensive rebounds. So we knew we had to rebound, and obviously AD was killer on the glass today with 23, and then everybody else just tried to chip in. So it was key for us to rebound. We out-rebounded them, I think, maybe, I don't know, the first 3 games, but I know for sure we got out-rebounded in game 3. We was able to out-rebound them tonight, and that really helped.
LeBron, as close as this series has been, obviously it's 3-1, and there probably could be a natural human tendency to look back and I wish it was 2-2 or something like that. But you guys as a group have been trying to climb out of, you were 13th in the West in January, trying to make the play-in tournament, try to make the playoffs. Will that serve you in this situation as a group? Like, you can look at it like an opportunity versus look at it like what could have been?
Well, the only opportunity for us is just to play the next game, and we've given ourselves another life. We give ourselves another lifeline, and it's a one-game series for us. So Monday's game, I believe it's Monday. Yeah, Monday's game is the most important game of the season for us, and we understand that, and we know that. So, what's at stake. If you lose, you're done. If you win, you keep going. So, it's not much to talk about.
LeBron, what did you make of the work AD did on the glass tonight, and just sort of, if you could kind of like put into words what that battle has been like this series for him?
I think, what AD did for us on the glass tonight, when we were able to get them to miss, they're very good at their offensive rebounding game. And for AD to, clean glass, 20 of them on the defensive end, is just key for our offense. It's just key for a lot of things that we want to do. And I think, AD doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He's one of the best bigs that we have in the game, one of the best bigs in the world, and he's shown that again, through the first 4 games.
LeBron, what can snapping the 11-game streak do for you guys, just from a mental perspective? Felt like every time you guys were getting a close game with them, they would find a way to pull it out. This time, it's the opposite. Like, I guess, what can getting through that do, if anything?
I don't know. I mean, we won this game, and that was most important. But now we got to start focusing on our next one. So, it's not like, we lose the next one and then it'd be 12-1 in the last 13 games. So, we want to try to, make that not happen. We want to continue to try to play good basketball and focus on, our next task. And our next task is, like I said, is Monday's game, and see what happens.
Jamal Murray's hit some big shots down stretches of games, but you guys have largely held him in check, and he's been inefficient with the shooting. What have you liked about your guys' defense on him, keying in on him?
I mean, he's a great player. He's going to make shots. He's going to make tough shots. He's going to make big shots. That's what he's done in this league for a long time. So, we just try to key in on our tendencies, key in on our game plan, and just try to be as efficient as we can. We're just trying to keep a body on him, and when he raised, we try to raise, not put him to the free throw line, and thought we were pretty good. I think all the guys that got an opportunity to match up with him tonight just did a really good job of just not giving him too many angles, but also just contesting a lot of his shots.
Last question. Thank you. Go ahead. Okay. Knowing the emphasis and urgency you guys have placed on the third quarter, at this point, do you guys talk about that at halftime, or is it something everyone kind of comes into the second half carrying themselves?
I mean, it's both. I mean, we know, we talked about it. We've been talking about it. It's been something that's been an Achilles heel for us all season, coming into the third quarter with some energy, understanding that teams want to try to make that run when the second quarter happens. So we talked about it again tonight, and we was able to fix it, and it goes more than just talking about it. You guys got to go out there and be about it as well. And I thought we did that, So it was very key to us getting this win tonight that we was able to, stay a good pace with them, throughout the third quarter. And like I said, even though they scored 32, we scored 30, and we was able to still, maintain that energy going into the fourth. It was an even score. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
I became uninspired once Lauren Hill retired. Regular schedule.
D'Angelo, what did you think the difference was in this game where it went a lot like the first three games? You guys build a lead. Denver starts to come back tonight. They didn't get over the hump at any point. Where did you see that shift?
I think that was like a third quarter, adjustment, for us to come out and prioritize getting a good warm-up, attacking them in the third, not being on our heels, letting them attack us. Obviously, we've had leagues to start the third. I just thought we as a team, we locked in on, the game plan, and we attacked, during that start of that third, and that was a result of us keeping that lead, staying at it. When we made subs, we still found a way to contribute to what we were trying to do. There was no let-off, so it's huge.
D'Lo, you've lived through the feedback swirl that exists in social media at times in your career. What grounded you or prepared you for Game 4 coming off of Game 3?
I don't know, try to be as humble as I can. I just think I've been through it all before, and I kind of prepare myself mentally before I go through it again. And I don't know, like I said, I've prepared for this, all summer, all season. I try to prepare myself for these times now when everybody's watching, everybody has something to say. And I just try to stay to myself and to my own opinions and emotions.
D'Angelo, after Game 1, you attacked Game 2 with a lot of aggression offensively early. It felt like tonight, like it was a little bit more of a feel-out from you while being aggressive but not forcing it. How important was it for you to try to, while wanting to obviously play better than in Game 3, but to still play, I guess, quote-unquote, the right way?
This isn't a place that you're going to come out and try to dominate the game when you got LeBron and AD right next to you. Bless you. So for me to come out Game 3, not score, and then come out and just be ultra aggressive and try to do all that extra stuff, that's not really me, and I know that's what people were expecting me to do. So if it made it easier for me to prepare my mind for that approach, and it was let the game come to me, be aggressive, and it was simple as that. And we looked up, everybody was aggressive, everybody was pitching in. AR was huge, Bron and AD continued. Torian Prince was huge. Spence, Gabe, all those guys pitched in. Jackson. And it just allowed us to have an imprint on the game in our small little role that we have, and it was contagious. Everybody wanted to continue to fight and compete.
D'Lo, Coach told us that he told everybody to lean into the joy of competition, and in particular, he was very outspoken about how much he still believed in you. Did that help you? If you could speak to that.
I appreciate that, but I believe in myself. Simple as that, more than anybody. So, I don't need that, but I appreciate that.
D'Lo, over here, congrats on the win. It seemed like there was a great diversity in your shot selection compared to Game 3. Put the ball on the ground. How much did that help you get into rhythm tonight?
I watched it from Game 3. A lot of my threes, small sample size that I had, the shots that I had were all tough ones. And I just felt like my mind was made up when I got the ball. And I saw that in film last game. And tonight, I see Caldwell Pope running me off like I'm Steph Curry. So I try to, make plays and attack in that small pocket.
Yeah, over here, D'Lo. One thing you guys did well tonight, especially in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, every time they made a run or punched, you guys punched right back. Jokic would hit the three that bounced in, you guys come right back and drain a three, keep the lead where it was at. That's something you do extremely well, like score in bunches and squirts like that, especially when you can kind of feel, they might be going on a run and your team needs it. How do you guys control that moving forward or continue that in this series?
I think that's what's hurt us in the previous games. We found a way to score, get stops, and then at some point we stop getting good looks. We stop putting the ball in the hole, and they find a way within their system to continue to be efficient and get good quality shots. And for us, that's something that we struggle with. So for us to focus on it this game, to continue to get good shots, continue to push the pace. If something happens, right, keep it going, next play mentality, and it kept the pace of the game up, and I think it played in our favor.
D'Lo, I got two for you. Follow up on that. How much did staying organized in those moments offensively help you guys keep Denver away? It seemed like you guys were more together in the sets and running it through it in those moments compared to maybe previous games.
Huge. Obviously, teams can get stops, and for us to get stops and score, it eliminates us from having these dry spells where they find ways to come back and get themselves into the game. Go ahead, man.
How much?
Don't have my dog waiting now.
Mentally and emotionally, just how can ending this losing streak to Denver help you guys going forward?
I think it was huge. We got something positive to look on the film. Like I said, everybody did their part. We know that's what it's going to take to win. So to continue to keep that going is the effort that we need to have. So.
AD, you have a 2020 game, I think, tied a postseason career in rebounds, and your numbers throughout this entire postseason have been, way up there. What type of groove are you in right now, and how can that groove be applied to the next challenge in Game 5?
I just feel good. Just taking my time, reading the defense. It's really my teammates are doing a great job of giving me the ball in space and in areas where I could be most effective. But it's another challenge going to Game 5, in Denver, and we learned from tonight what we did great, what we can be better at, and try to have some carryover going up there on Monday.
AD, obviously there was a lot of attention on their win streak over you guys. From a mental perspective, what can it do for you guys just to kind of get that, kill that narrative and sort of just move forward knowing that even if they go on a second half run, you guys can still withstand that and come out victorious?
Yeah, you kind of get that monkey off your back, but I just think, the difference in the first 3 games, and actually all the games that we have lost to them in a row, and and tonight is that we just scored. We scored in the second half, 30 in the third and 28 in the fourth. Usually we're in the low 20s or even high teens, and they're scoring big. So the team like that, they're going to continue to score. We just have to continue to score as well, and I think that was the difference in tonight.
AD, ESPN aired a stat during the game that I think you guys have led something like 130 minutes in this series, and now you finally have something to show for that. But bigger picture, as you guys move forwards in Denver, how much confidence does that give you, considering the way you guys have played? Maybe not in results, but in total in this series.
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence in our team. Like I said, we've had to lead a lot during this series, and it's just been our second half where we haven't, actually our third quarters, where we haven't been able to execute and score the basketball. So our confidence was never lost at any point in the game. But, when we come out and execute, coming out of halftime, which was a big emphasis today, to come out and just score the basketball, it kind of just gets us going. So we had some good looks to start the third, even though we missed, and then we were just able to kind of find a rhythm offensively and put the ball in the basket. But it gives us confidence
especially going up there, knowing what we were able to do. Game 1, game 2. Even though we didn't get the results, but we know that we can get out early, and it's just about coming out of halftime, playing with more pace, more physical toughness, and execution.
You guys have largely held Jamal Murray in check, especially compared to last year's series. What have you liked about the defense against him?
Our guard's just making it tough on him. He's a hell of a player. He can score the basketball, 3-level scorer, and we're just trying to make it tough on him. He's going to make some tough shots. We just don't want to give him anything easy. I think our guards, Austin, Gabe, D'Lo, Spence, just making it tough on him and making him take contested shots, making him take tough twos, and if it go in, we live with it. But just continue to pressure him and make him take tough twos.
AD, the scoring for you has been efficient and consistent the whole 4 games, but have you noticed some of or what have been some of the Denver coverages if they've switched Gordon onto you, or are there certain pockets where you feel like you could still get the ball more in certain spots, or do you feel like you're in a good rhythm about the flow that it's in right now?
I think I'm in a good rhythm, just how we're playing. We're just playing in the flow, not really forcing anything, just letting the game kind of come to me. A lot of pick and rolls, stuff around the rim. If I get some isolation, just trying to be aggressive. If I see an open floor, if I get a rebound, pushing it, being aggressive in those moments. But like I said, I think my teammates are doing a good job and just giving me the ball in positions where I can be effective, and then I just make the read from there. Whether it's shot or a kick out for a guy to shoot a 3. But for the most part, I'm just trying to be very aggressive, knowing it's going to open it up for my teammates.
Anthony, there's been a lot of conversation about the bigs who face Nikola Jokic, the energy required, and just the danger of running out of gas in the 4th. How have you approached that this whole series, and particularly today?
He's a tough cover. He can score from all 3 levels. His passing makes him even more dangerous. He got good footwork in the post. He can shoot the ball from 3. He get at the Dirk spot at the nail and just kind of operate from there. So it's tough. I just try to make it tough on him, make him take tough shots and live with the results. So it's a team defense, obviously. When any team is guarding him, it takes a team effort to kind of guard him and just live with the results. I mean, he had some unbelievable numbers tonight, which he has had all series, but we just want to make it tough on him.
AD, your footwork in the paint to get around Jokic, your ability to get buckets over top of him at times. As this series goes on, how much more comfortable are you getting against a really good post defender?
I'm always confident in my offense. It's just about taking my time and making the shots and making the right reads. They've been playing a lot of one-on-one. Sometimes they'll send a double every now and then, but for the most part, it's just being confident in my game and just getting to what I work on every day in practice and workouts, and just trying to make those shots, and also just trying to make him guard. He's gonna obviously make me guard on the other end and put me in a lot of actions, and we just try to do the same thing.
Hey, Dee, did you and Bron have a talk essentially saying there's no way we're going to get swept in consecutive postseasons?
Not directly. I just think it was just a feeling in the room, starting with yesterday's film session. It sucks to get swept. Nobody wants that feeling, especially going to the summer. You got to live with that feeling for the rest of the summer. So, we didn't really talk about it, not just me and Bron, but the entire team. We know what's at stake. Like I say, nobody wants that feeling in their mouth for the rest of the summer. So, the way we play tonight is the way we got to play for the rest of the series. Sense of desperation and coming out with a sense of urgency.
Thank you.
questions? Right here on the right.
Let him get settled first. Mike, what did you see from them in this game that you hadn't seen from them so far in this series?
Yeah, I mean, they played good once again, and we came in pretty nonchalant, like they were going to roll over and give us the game. We can never do that. I thought we played hard in spurts, but we didn't come out with the right energy. Yeah, but you got to give them credit. They played well, you know. Aaron wasn't getting behind the defense as easy as he was last game, and they made some adjustments offensively to kind of distort our defense. So they played a good game overall.
Michael, Coach Malone just said it's easy to stay together after a win, much harder to do after a disappointing loss. How much confidence do you have in this group's ability to stay together even after a performance like that?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to close it out tonight, obviously, but we knew that team wasn't going to roll over. But, yeah, like you said, spirits are high after wins and after losses, you know. Guys are frustrated, but, you know, we'll regroup tomorrow, and we're still together. We'll always be together. I mean, this is the playoffs, man. It's not going to be an easy road. It's going to be hard, like very hard to become a champion this year and repeat. So the road's not easy. We're playing against some great players, so we can't let bumps in the road, you know, throw us off too much.
Over here on the right.
When you look at tonight's game, you look at 70 points in the paint. You look at, you know, just the first quarter, and once again, you know, having a double-digit deficit. What's the one thing that you guys want to clean up in between now and Monday in order to try to shift this?
Yeah, I think we got to get up to better starts. We don't want to – it takes a lot of energy to come back from these double-digit leads, you know, down 20, down 15, whatever it is. And tonight they did a good job of sustaining it. Whenever we got within 10 or 8, it seemed like they made a three-pointer or made a big shot, so credit to them. But, yeah, the points in the paint hurt us tonight. You know, LeBron getting downhill. Obviously, AD was living in our paint. Austin Reaves got to the bucket. So we got to do a better job all around.
I know this is just something that happens in pregame and everything, but we all saw the shots of people warming up in their slides and stuff. I don't know what all happened there, and how did you guys react to it?
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to come off like we're taking anybody lightly, and I hope that wasn't. We just didn't have our shoes. Yeah, I didn't have my shoes to warm up in. I think the bus that the shoes got loaded onto was the last bus for. I think there was some confusion, so all I had was slides. So they said we'd either skip our warm up or go out there in slides, and I kind of knew then that people would probably make a big deal out of it, but it was just because somebody forgot to put the shoes on the right bus.
Did it matter to you at all?
Yeah, I'm frustrated about it. Like, a pregame routine is very important. But everyone makes mistakes. Everybody's human, so I'm not too mad. But it's obviously frustrating because those pregame shooting times are very important. But like I said, everybody makes mistakes.
Over here on the left.
Michael, obviously you guys want to win every game, but can this serve as maybe a wake-up call about the poor starts and some of the controllable things? Is it easier to hear some of that coaching after you guys lost and maybe kind of take it in?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, we knew coming into tonight we didn't want to get off to a slow start. We've done it every game this series, and tonight they managed their lead better. So we've been learning from the film, but we didn't apply it as good as we should have tonight. I felt like we didn't come out with the right aggressiveness and energy as a collective group. So, you know, last year we lost game 4, I think, against Minnesota first round. And we're looking forward to going home and trying to get the next one.
Last two. Back there.
Yeah, Michael, not to harp too much on the slow starts, but when you look at it, is it a matter of you guys not having the necessary energy, or is it more strategic in terms of how that's coming down?
That's all on our approach and our energy, and just, you know, from the tip, from the jump ball, we have to be locked in defensively, not letting them get off to just those fast starts with fast break points, not doing our assignments. And then on the offensive end, we got to come in the game and be aggressive and, you know, own our spots and be aggressive, getting downhill, attacking the rim, and not turning the ball over, and we'll be okay.
Last one on the right.
As a team, you guys haven't been shooting the ball well in this series, but you've been shooting the ball pretty well. What has led to that for you?
I mean, you know, I'm locked in. I'm trying to win another championship with this team, so I'm taking everything very serious off the court. trying to get my rest, trying to get my recovery, and I'm trying to approach the game very locked in and aggressive. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I could have shot better tonight. Missed some threes that I wish I would have made, but overall, I'm gonna stay aggressive and stay locked in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got one more coming. Can I have a stats? No?
Does anybody have a final box?
No worry.
Okay. Nicola, what did they do that disrupted what you guys wanted to do tonight in particular?
I mean, I think their offense was something that they were really pushing the pace. They had open layups. They were destroying us in paint. We couldn't make a shot. They didn't even make. They couldn't make shot either. But seems like that affected our defense a lot. I mean, that's a great team. I always say, like, their last 4 games we are down. First quarter, have halftime, whatever. So they're playing really good. I'm good.
Nicole, how do you balance trying to defend physically while also trying to know that your availability is so important and try to avoid foul trouble? Is that a challenge at all to balance?
I mean, I'm just trying to make the guy shoot over me or make him hard or whatever. So I really don't think about not making a foul. It's. I don't know. I don't think I'm not really good in defense, my friend. So I don't know what to tell you.
Nicola, winning a series is difficult, not easy. When you had a chance, you came here tonight thinking you have an opportunity to just end it, and you don't get that job done. There's a level of frustration, disappointment, upset. What do you feel?
I don't feel that. I mean, like I said, they're a great team. We have another opportunity in 2 days at our home. Our home court. We will win or we will lose. We will see what's gonna happen. So hopefully we can win at home. After that, if we lose, we have another opportunity. So we will see.
On Monday, from a general perspective, what adjustments do you want to make from now until Monday that can help?
Do you really think I'm going to tell you right now?
Not specifically. That's why I said from a general perspective.
From a general, try to stop their transition and try to don't let them 80 points in paint, basically.
Back to the front row, please.
You had that pass, Nicola, in transition, that tip pass to Michael Porter. How did you know where the basketball was, and how did you know where to throw it or tip it so that?
I mean,
it
I
would be
was
to Michael?
hoping the ball is going to be in front of me, and I saw Mike, so I was just waiting the ball so I can see the ball, and KCP threw the really good pass, and I would just tip it to Mike.
Were you surprised that he was there?
No, I saw him.
You saw him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Do these slow starts feel like something that's just happening? Do they feel like controllable to you guys? And are you hopeful that going home and playing in Denver?
I mean, of course, we want to win, but I learned in horse racing, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I mean, we didn't finish today really well, so hopefully we can do a better job. But yes, we want to be up and control the game, but it seems like that didn't happen to us.
As a team, you guys aren't shooting the basketball particularly well like you have all season long. What do you need to do to fix that, and are you concerned with that at all?
I mean, yes, of course, this is like 4th game. We are not making shots, eating the wide open looks. It's literally not even one player is not making open looks. But we are creating them, so we need to still believe in our shots, and hopefully we're gonna make some.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys. Pleasure, like always.
Thank you.